I'm like, yo, when you take your dick out, are you going to take a piece of it out or are you going to take it all out? And he laughed and everybody else laughed and we brought the whole drum kit. So everybody's welcome who got to see that big, huge drum kit. It's because of me.
That was... Hey everyone, this is Kevin McLoughlin, and this is the Riffs and
Rhythms podcast, and I'm Paul Robertson. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How's it going?
I'm really excited about this episode, man.
It's been hours since I've seen you. The kids must be huge now.
Yeah, no, they're what was that? How many days ago? Many days ago?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
No, 2 days ago. See, we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, don't you need? I need to find that medication for you to remember shit.
Well, I have some. I just keep forgetting to take it.
You keep mixing up with the blue pill one.
Yeah, no, the blue pill. I don't really need that one, but.
All right, well.
I can't remember where it is, so maybe I should have it.
It makes me a little nervous now. Telling in the last podcast you talked about the under table cam that for the OnlyFans page.
I know these legs keep coming off the ground on this side.
All right, Mr. Tired Jack car person, whatever it was. I don't know where to go there.
Okay, yeah, that was witty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
let's go right to it. We got some really cool guests in the room. We don't want to drag this out too much.
Dude, we got some royalty. We got some royalty in the room here.
Absolutely,
that's right.
Absolutely.
And we're not, very plugged into the scene here. South Florida's been around a long time. Knows a lot of, performing with a lot of, performers. Really excited to talk a little bit more about music here with that person, and then also. He's also working on some original music. So it's like, hey, if you're doing original music, we need to come on the Riffs and Rhythms podcast because this is what we feature is Florida original music, promoting that. So that's this show. So it's great to have crossover guests when we go from our different shows here in Drums and Rums, Riffs and Rhythms. And then this person who's also doing music with here is, again, me growing up in the 90s as a I did have long hair back then. I know it's losing in the front, but... metal scene.
What have we been saying lately? The more hair you lose, the more head you get.
I'm going to come.
It's true, right?
It is true.
Yes, it is. And he's also brought with him his guitar player for their new project that we're going to learn more about and talk is, we'll just jump right in there. So his... like I said, I'm a little bit, fawning here. Or I don't know if fawning is the right word. I'm really excited to talk.
Getting all fanboy.
I know. This is really cool.
Okay, I put my pants on one leg at a time, too. You don't got to get upset.
Yeah, all right. So Jim McCourt and Bobby Gustafson. Yeah.
Yes.
So, all right.
Welcome, y'all.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah. So when Jim was telling me about this new project and with Bobby, I said, wait a minute. I said, I know that name. I said, I grew up listening to Overkill when I was, back in the 90s, living in Jersey, and some great riffs. Overkill was. But yeah, let's just jump right into it, man. It's thanks for coming on, man. So
good to be here.
Yeah, so it's your a lot of besides Overkill and a lot of the things that you've been involved with is did you know he almost was in Metallica?
I heard there was a rumor about that. Phyllis, is that a thing?
Yeah, that was true. When they were on tour with Guns N' Roses when James got burned from the pyrotechnics, they called me that night to learn basically the whole set. So they handed me like 18 songs, and they were going to fly me out to Denver in 2 days.
Oh, wow.
Which, I was a fan of Metallica. I knew bits and pieces. The Black Album was kind of new, so I didn't really learn nothing off that yet. But I tried to cram. I even had a show at L'Amour's in Brooklyn. I didn't cancel that. I tried to learn the songs, and it was too much. Then when they auditioned on like 5 songs. Like, why didn't you tell me 5 songs?
I tried to do everything.
Yeah, I tried to learn the whole thing. I got a little delayed. I tried to work off the vocals. I got delayed at Newark because of a rain shower that was like 5 minutes, and it delayed the flight for 4 hours. So when I went there that night, he had already left because he was in pain. So they scheduled it for the next day. I'm like, oh, great. I've got more time to learn the songs, practice it in the hotel. And then the next day, he doesn't show up. So there goes remembering the parts from the vocals. So yeah, just kind of didn't go good. Did a couple songs, did like Creeping Death and then bits and pieces of some other stuff, but they gave it to John from Metal Church. He knew most of the set anyway from before. But yeah, that happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a good memory.
So yeah, I mean,
no wonder I wouldn't have been able to do that either. That's a lot of songs.
And I never really picked up other people's songs because I'm always writing.
Were you having to sing them too?
No.
Oh, he was going to sing. James was going to sing, and you were going to.
He was going to sing, that night if I had been there on time, which might have worked out a little better. But it was just me, Jason, Lars, and Kirk, and we set up in the like a lobby area in like the Denver Coliseum. So it was like just set up in this big lobby area. We played. They went out into the middle of the Coliseum, sat down and talked, and they came back. And there was other people. I think the guy from Flotsam and Jetsam was right after me. He was going to audition too. So yeah, they tried to get a couple of people into it.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to think about how much they paid him to do that. So
yeah, I bet.
I block it out a little bit.
Right. But that's not the only thing that you've got to talk about for yourself. Like what?
No.
Oh
Phil
no.
said
Yeah. No. Yeah.
A couple other things.
Yeah.
Is where did it all start?
But my career or Overkill?
Overkill. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Or your career. I mean, if it's if you
your
want to start
career altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just had a friend who was trying to get the original drummer Rat for his band. And I just happened to mention him one day. I was like, I want to get in a band. And he knew about Overkill. And I had seen them in the local paper. They were already doing cover shows. So he set it up. We went and auditioned. I went twice. The second time they said yeah. And then they always had a second guitar player, but they flaked out. Like both the guy they had and then the guy that I tried to bring in, they both flaked. So I just jumped in on my own. And, we wound up practicing down my parents' basement. We went through the covers like everybody, the Maiden, the Priestess, Sabbath. And then I'm like, well, let's just write originals because we're not going to go anywhere playing other people's music. So we started right in with the original songs. And then, once we had enough to go out and play, we started playing. I was still my last year of high school. I graduated that June. We did our first show August of '83. And then everything started taking off. That's when Metallica was on the East Coast. They were playing. All the bands were playing the New York area. Like Thrash just started to really get a movement going. And we got signed by Johnny about a year later.
That's right. Yeah.
With Megaforce. He started Megaforce up. And Metallica took off. He had Anthrax and we weren't too far after that.
It was a time, man. It just that time period of the 80s, all of it was exploded. I mean, so we talk a lot about is other parts of the country, whether it was Seattle, their explosion of music, Bay Area, or Dave Grohl did a real interesting documentary of the Foo Fighters where they traveled around, toured, and they recorded a song, wrote a song locally at every place, like New Orleans, and just focused a lot of the music history and where certain things came out of New Orleans with their jazz and style. And but yeah, just coming out of New York, New Jersey area, the thrash metal scene was just
even the bigger bands like Maiden and Priest, they were taking off, and then MTV came in.
Yep.
And then everything just exploded.
So with Overkill, you wrote a lot of the material there, first 4 albums there, and I have to say, Bobby, is you have such a good distinct guitar sound, and right, because there was a single, right, you were that time was
one.
right, and that was you, right, and there was no other guitars to back that up, and I'm like, it's just listening to the fucking crushing riffs, and yes, we're going to talk about riffs today, okay? We'll eventually get to Jim, and we'll get to the rhythms here. Right?
Listen, I'm a fan. I'm a Bobby fan too. Go for it.
Yeah. So I mean, are you familiar a lot with
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Absolutely. I mean, how could you not be familiar with Overkill?
Yeah.
I mean, each album got a little better. I mean, we were young. We were learning as we were going into the studio. And then I just always had I remember a friend of mine in high school said that if you just practice by yourself, you'll develop your own style. And that's what I kind of did. I just really didn't jam too much with other people or learn every song, like new album that came out. I didn't really sit there and learn. Yeah, I just focused on like, my music. And by the time we did the fourth album, I think that it was probably our best sound. So each one got a little better as we went and progressed and had more money. But yeah, I mean, by the time we did the fourth one, that was the last one I did. Like, everything was great. I mean, all the sounds were there, and we were starting to take off.
Yeah. I remember watching MTV, Headbangers Ball, and whether it's Hello from the Gutter or Elimination, I'm like, these are fucking great.
That really helped. Headbangers, because a lot of the bands didn't have enough money yet to like really make videos. So we got, when Johnny hooked up with Atlantic for the second and third and fourth album, we had enough money to do the video. So we did a You Knew We Stand right away, and Headbangers was brand new at that point. So they didn't have a lot of videos to play. So we were literally on every weekend. And then Hello from the Gutter was second, and then an Elimination, and that, like, each one just got bigger and better.
Yeah.
It was killer. It was killer time.
It was crazy. But just for me growing up in in New Jersey, and like probably most kids, as you you get a little older as a teenager, you get more exposed to a little bit more heavier and heavier stuff. Again, we know the big names in Jersey. Most people listen to, and Bon Jovi, right? And then you progress to a little bit heavier stuff, and that was at least with my path at that time. And just getting exposed to those all you guys and those bands, and playing at places like Birch Hill. Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's a place in Newark that you had gone to see in a couple of shows, and it's not the beach Inn, but shit, I can't remember now. Wherever it was, there was a band. I'm going to take a little tangent here. They're playing at Matthews Brewing coming up here in this month. Spread Eagle.
Oh yeah,
I saw that. Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to go to that show, because I was at a show in like 91, that summer in 91 there in Newark. Spread Eagle was the band. They were on MTV. They had a couple songs on MTV. And I'm like, I'm going to bring my cassette. Get the guys assigned the cassette. Man, I'm just fucking showing my age here. So, but yeah, I mean, being an Overkill and in that progression in there, and going from again, for those that are watching, we're a Florida show. We don't have things called basements here to practice in, which were the ultimate places to play, because it was an extra room that was underneath where everything is. But going through high school and then start, up to that point as you're progressing, with the guys, just like you said, it just took off. But what was some of those things that you kind of got into? So some of your other influences, because you said you did some covers. So was that a lot of the influence that made you write? How did you write? Inspired you, I guess, to write your own music?
Probably just like hearing my older brother's records. I mean, he had Sabbath, Paranoid, and I mean, to me, that was the ultimate. But he had a couple of like Zeppelin albums and Hendrix albums and stuff. And then just through friends in school, you discovered the Maidens and Priests and Motorheads and
right,
Saxon, all that was like just around 1980-ish or so. And all of that it was just such a good time, like, because you had the old movement, like the bigger bands really started to break, and then you had this like new thing where Metallica started.
So it was like almost like I guess equivalent to the 60s, the British invasion. Like, there's always a weird thing that goes back and forth. And speaking of British, right? Somebody's going to be going to Britain.
Yeah, we can
England.
talk about that.
Yeah, we'll
later.
talk about that. But, in the 60s, you had the British invasion. The Beatles, Stones were influenced by American music. And then now music in America is being influenced by the Beatles and Stones. And then it kind of is a back and forth kind of thing. And I think a lot of the metal at that time was very European influence, like I said, Saxon and so forth, that they've taken a lot, Iron Maiden, Sabbath,
new wave,
Priest, and everyone's, that's who their bands were at that time is. So, but there's also, you also were almost going to be in Megadeth as well.
Yeah, Dave had asked me one night, like on the Peace Sells tour. There's a couple of books that are coming out. I know one guy, the only other guy that was in the back of the bus when Dave was like having a breakdown, he's coming out with a book. I just gave him a couple of highlights and stuff about that, a guy named Mike Stamp. But I did something for even Dave, the bass player, we had talked about that, but yeah, he was at that point where he just kind of had it with Gar and Chris Poland, and it just broke down one night in Philly where Gar threw a stick out, and it actually stuck behind Dave's guitar strap. He just a weird freak of nature of the thing, and went right behind there, and he didn't know what was going on. And then when finally, like, the roadie came out and pulled it out and showed him, he just like turned around and looked at Gar for like 2 minutes straight with his back to the audience. And then show's over. I hear bottles breaking. Gar comes in my dressing room, and he's laughing, and just hear all people screaming. And we thought the tour was over, so I went in the bus to talk to Dave and calm him down a little bit. And he was asking me to join, and I'm like, Taking Over just came out. I'm like, I don't know. I says, I might want to stay with the guys I'm with, because they were just out of control. I'm like, I don't want to get messed up with them, because I knew it wouldn't last, even if I did.
Right.
Just because he was bad back then. He's gotten better, but
yeah, he seemed to, yeah.
They were partying.
Yeah,
they were all partying.
I guess the question of all that from that time era, being around all these bands, that's like, how the fuck did you survive?
We were young and indestructible. That's just about it. You could stay up, party, drink till you fall down, and then get up and play the next day. Can't do that now.
Hey, can you relate to that?
I resemble that remark.
You what?
Hey, it's worse on drummers.
True. You guys have the most athletic experience on stage.
We do work hardest out of the whole band.
It's because you got to keep up.
Get the most girls.
Get the most girls.
That's right.
We don't work hard playing. We work hard turning all the girls down. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's
sorry.
That's definitely the ticket.
Yeah. But you can help me carry my gear after the gig, so stick around.
Oh
mama.
yeah, all the girls
that's
love
why
to do
they're
that.
there.
Is that what you kids call it nowadays? Carrying my gear?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, that was just a really interesting time, just to think back there in the '80s and just through the entire '80s, because I think by the late '80s, all the metal bands starting to become, because like you said, MTV, a lot more. I don't want to say mainstream, but I guess if you
let's say it, because metal turned into a caricature of itself at the end of the '80s, early '90s.
I think after most of the bands had 4 or 5 albums out at that point. Yeah. Maybe they just didn't know where to go, and then in comes the Seattle, the grunge thing, and the hair bands were kind of getting their ass whipped a little bit at that time too.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then everything just changed.
So how did that affect you?
I mean, I at that point when I left Overkill was 1990, so it didn't really affect me much at all. I mean, the only thing I did was I moved to California because I was supposed to do a band with Billy Milano and a drummer from Violence who had just broken up, and that never happened. And then I wound up staying out there for 2 years, and just not much. Couldn't get much off the ground. I think the next project was either Lombardo and then Screw. That was the whole time I was in California, and then I came down here. 96.
All right, so Jim or Dave Lombardo?
Jim.
Come on.
Easily.
That's not even a question.
Easily.
You can't forget about the Cycle Sluts, man.
Oh my God,
were,
I haven't.
They were right after. They were right after
Overkill.
Overkill. I was still in New York at that point. Yeah, they asked me to come in and do a solo. They were doing an album, and I did. Well, I did too. And then they gave me like $250, and I'm like, yeah, this is great. Hey, we're going out on tour with Motorhead for 2 months in Europe. You want to come? Yes. So, yeah, I went out with them. That was a good time. Yeah, and then they got blackballed because some other band was supposed to go on the Motorhead tour, and someone went behind someone's back and got Psycho Sluts on, so they got dropped from Sony. And I hung around for a little bit longer than I left. So yeah, that was kind of a short thing, but.
And that was another band in the Headbangers Ball era, right? I Wish You Were a Beer.
Yeah,
that's a great.
I encourage anyone who's never heard "I Wish You Were a Beer," Google that shit.
Yes.
It's on YouTube. It's so good.
Four chicks, and then just
it's good.
Yeah. So,
And Bob's in the video, so I mean, there you go.
Yeah,
it's in the video.
Can't go wrong with that.
Okay, yeah. All right. So hopefully this will help for our YouTube, watching viewers and subscribers, maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I've been doing all the talking, so I don't want to hog all the airtime here. So
Well,
yeah.
I'm going to interview Jim because I know him better. No offense, man.
Jump talk.
So I get to talk to the drummer, which I don't normally do. This is going to be fun.
Weird.
So how are you, man? It's been
I'm
a while
good.
since I've seen you.
It's been a minute.
It
yeah.
has been
I'm
a
good.
while. Yes. So fill us in. You have a lot of cool shit going on yourself.
Yeah, I'm playing with Bob. I'm playing.
All right. So let's stop right there.
Okay.
Tell us about that project.
Well, I am Bob's longest collaborating musician. It's like 20 years or some shit. He can't get rid of me. So we've done a few Satan Taint records, 3, 4-ish.
Okay.
Response Negative was first.
We
though.
started
That
in
was-
Response Negative
yeah.
in the early 2000s. And then, we just, whenever he needs a drummer, he's like, hey, I need you to play drums on this shit. And then I'm like, all right, cool. And then, I don't know, 3 or 4. I don't know. Look that shit up. It's on the internet.
There you go,
I don't
there you
even know.
the same thing twice.
And then we're working on another one now. I believe it's going to be Pain Ward. So we're starting some pre-production on that. And there you are. It's 3. There you go. And there might be one before that, but that's the
Is that the bootleg edition on EA?
yeah, it's
No,
like
we
the
did.
Japanese release only. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We started with 5 songs and we did a little EP first. Then we had more, so we just like, you know what, just make one full album. So that wound up being the first album, X.
So this last one, which was Destruction Ritual, so the back of that, well, the front of the artwork, I'm sorry, is done by a guy, was it Jay? And he did all that, and it's amazing. The back of that is an actual photograph. That
That's cool.
We decided we were going to go to my buddy Tom's house because he has a big backyard. And his wife, Allison, hi, Allie. I know you're going to be mad at me for telling this story, but we were trying to light. Bob's like, I want an axe and fire. And I go, fuck yeah, so let's do that. But the fire just wasn't enough. And we had our buddy Juan taking pictures, and it was okay. But so Tom goes in the garage and he comes out with this big can of gas, and he's just, and don't do this shit at home, obviously. I mean, don't, just no.
Yeah, make sure read the disclaimer.
That was Juan Can too, right?
It was Juan can too, yeah.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
Juan.
yeah.
Kids,
So
don't try this at home, please.
dousing it like a little splash, and it was a good. So finally, we're just, after 5 tries, we're like, fuck this, and we just put it all on there, and the whole backyard went up. The dog's barking, the wife's barking. We're like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. And one's like, and then we picked it out.
Well, we almost wound up on like America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah.
Because he has the gas can and he's running around the yard and the end of it is lit. So he starts shaking it. So now the gas is going all over the yard and there's little fire spots in his yard.
Hey, did you guys know that HBO has a show called Florida Man? So maybe we need to submit
Florida
this
Man.
story.
Florida Man?
Yeah, and they do reenactments actually.
Oh, yeah.
with actors. Yeah, it's on HBO.
We should do
Oh,
that.
we would have reenacted it. Hey, what's your
Totally.
favorite Talking Head song? We almost burned down the house for sure. But
Sam as it ever was.
but it made for a cool
Yeah, well,
That
back
is a great
CD
photo.
photo.
Yeah.
So props to Tom and Allie and Juan Cantu for
Rock on.
allowing us to.
So has grass ever grown there again?
I think there
I'm-
was.
honestly, she doesn't let me in the backyard anymore when I go over. So
you wouldn't know.
Yeah, sometimes I can't make it through the garage, but
Well,
they're cool.
There you go.
From the street. That's it. As far as you get.
So yeah, so that's what
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
that's what we've been doing, and working on some pre-production for a new project.
Yeah. Did I see a video somewhere online recently? You guys
Yeah, I
practicing?
brought my
Practicing?
electronic kit over and Bobby's laying stuff down to a click, and hey, you like this riff, and we just jam it out and record it on the computer and send it off to the people who need to add their parts. And I mean, finding a singer, I think, is the challenging issue. But we wanted to have the songs down, at least a skeletal fragment, because But I tell everybody, Bobby wakes up in the morning, drinks his coffee, and plays his guitar. So he's just like got riff after riff after riff after riff after riff. So
I'm reading here. So you're back with Megaforce.
They released that one. Yeah,
Okay.
I talked to one of their old employees actually bought the company.
Okay.
From Johnny, and she manages Anthrax as well, but she released like Clutch and some other stuff. She's got a pretty good catalog, but she lives off the old stuff. But I asked her because the second album was a full album. I asked if she'd put it out, and she did.
Cool.
So, but didn't really get much push, and we kind of did this. It started out just fun, like, all right, man, I got a ton of songs. Let's just record. And then tried to get a bunch of friends involved, but it kind of got chaotic. But Jim's always been there, so
you guys are the two core members, and you have others that kind of come in and play.
Yeah, that's what I did on a couple of them. The second album, I did guitar and bass, and Paolo, the one of Jim's other bands, came in and sang, and a guy Dan used to be in Assist.
Yeah.
So they did half each.
Okay.
That's
pretty cool.
Yeah, so I was just trying to get all our friends involved and have it local and then just be something cool.
That's fucking awesome. That's exactly right. That's right up our alley, right?
Local is what we're all about.
Yeah.
Florida music.
Yeah.
You got that Florida accent going on.
Me?
Yeah.
You should have heard it before.
I believe you. So, I can't wait to hear some of this stuff, man. I wasn't even aware of Satan Taint, so I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Yeah.
So, if you were going to describe this music, what would you call it?
Fast Viking metal.
Cool.
Riffy. I'm not fast. Heavy riffing Viking metal.
Cool.
So this sounds like a candidate for one of our. Is it the Riff or the Rhythm segment song review coming up?
No question.
But not
and I was
tonight,
going to
yeah.
ask you
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
if we were going to review one of these songs. Now, to set you up, when we review a song, we don't review it if it's good or bad. We review a song if it's the riff or if it's the rhythm that is the most memorable part.
Can I don't remember what fucking is on this shit because we did that like 3 years ago. Throw it over here. I'm not ashamed, kids. I got to put my glasses on.
There you go.
All right. So
It's because it's
if
because
I'm
it's,
picking,
There's a lot of variation on them too, which
Strength Beneath the Skin. That's the one.
loves that song.
I love that song.
So now is this? Do you have a YouTube
Skull
component?
Crusher. Skull
Is there
Crusher
a
did-
too.
YouTube video for it?
we did a video for Desecration.
Okay.
Yes,
But
we did,
that's-
which is awesome also.
Yeah, that's-
But the riff, Strength Beneath the Skin. So this song ended with this like fucking killer riff. It was fucking great. But it was an outro. I'm like, no. We had an argument. I got to play on this. No, you don't. But I got to play on it. No, you don't. And he says, I'll write another song. Because back in the day, he used to end, each Overkill record would end with a riff. And then the next record, they would kind of pick it off, like, pick it up from there. Can we do something like that? Yeah, sure. Yeah, you just to shut me up. So we never did it. But the riff at the end of Strength Beneath the Skin is boner material.
Oh,
It's just guitar.
Well, for me anyway.
I thought of it in the studio, and I kind of took the drums out because it was like we never ended a song that way. So I'm like,
Wow.
it just ends with a guitar riff by itself.
Is there a video for that on YouTube?
No,
Desecration.
we'll have to make one.
Can you make it like at least make a lyric video?
We'll get to the end and I'll go,
yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
stop. Okay.
The drums will be in there and they mute. Now it's perfect. It's just guitar.
That's actually in the video. You're playing. He's like, stop.
Yeah. I mean, all the riffs are good. It's all,
Yeah.
but that's just was one of my favorites.
I don't know. Wait, that might can't be the song because now we've already are a little predisposed to how this is going
I
to
don't
go.
know.
Skull Crusher.
If it's just
Skull
the outro,
Crusher,
it's not integral to
or
the
Acid
structure of
Truth
the song.
from,
Acid
from the
Truth from
first.
Okay.
Listen to him. Pick
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. This is
If you-
yeah.
Pick the.
If you're in the mood for a riff, they're all on there. So
Okay. Yeah.
got it.
So we're so we won't review it with you guys. That's one of the things is we don't review songs with the guests because obviously
Unless you're me
yes, unless you're
and
Kevin.
you want to
No,
just
yeah.
shove my face
yeah,
in it.
you don't want to. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so we don't put anybody on the spot. Again, we're just looking for is it the riff or rhythm? It does, quality and video. It's the Do we get the essence
it's not
of
production
it?
value. It's not song quality. It's not songwriting. It's just riff or rhythm.
Do we think that we could actually? Do you think? I know we haven't had a chance to listen yet. Could there be a opportunity for rhythm in any of this music? Do you think?
Well, I would think that it is likely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and that's a term that Lefty Hathaway coined when you can't decide which is better. Than
Sometimes it's both.
It's
Yeah.
the riffdom.
All right.
There's
And I can see a lot.
lots of riffs there.
Yeah, right. Because
There's a lot
obviously
to choose
in
from.
metal, right, the guitar and the drums are double bass going, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, we usually work on stuff first.
Yeah, totally.
I'll get the song together, and then I kind of have it in my head what I want to hear, and Jim just comes in and nails it.
Yep.
Very cool.
I have heard Jim play drums. He hits them in order, like boom and then pat
I have my moments
every time.
Boom.
in order.
No, he really is
Splash.
a good drummer.
Yeah.
I've had to mic his kid, and
You
he
have?
hits them, and it sounds good when he does it.
You tune them, you hit them,
Yeah.
they make noise.
So you've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
What else would you like to mention?
I have my 80s hair band, Metallica, that first brought us into each other's lives, you and I.
That is the case.
Was almost 15 years.
No, it's a little, at least that long, if not longer.
Wow.
Oh, wait, I think
Jeez.
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't do math. I'm a drummer. I count to 4 and I stop.
Yeah.
So, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I feel
It was
your pain.
2008. I mean, that's all I know.
Okay, there you go.
And
2008.
so that still is a monster on its own that we get to play.
And that act draws a huge crowd everywhere it goes.
Yeah, it's not too shabby.
So fill us in on what that one's all about.
It's, all the 80s hair bands is Motley and Poison and Bon Jovi and Rat and all the stuff that we always want to play. So now we do. And we dress up in wigs and spandex and, get to live out our fantasy for a few hours a night.
So we had a past guest on the episode here today. So in this band is also another Riffs and Rhythms guest as well.
Riffs and Rhythms alumnus.
Yes. So who,
Russ Miller was on the show. a while
Yeah.
back.
yeah.
Glamorous.
All right. So who's hotter? Is Jim or Russ hotter in this?
We actually took a survey of all women on planet Earth, and they unanimously voted that it was me. So, Russ, I know you're not here. You can suck it, Buster.
And,
Yeah.
yeah. And then your boss tapped you on the shoulder and said, "Wake up, Jim."
Hey, listen,
Back to work.
listen, I'm on the podcast. He can come here and debate that himself.
I think that
he
would
can
be a
present
good
the
idea.
facts.
That's right.
But the jury has rested, and it is me. So
All right, well, there you go.
there you go.
So Jim, last so the other band you are in is Made of Metal.
Made of Metal. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So
So we that band is we just kind of pick our favorite bands. Mike, our guitar player, started it in 2010 after the passing of Ronnie James Dio, and he did a Dio show. Without me on drums, what a dick. That's okay. He had Steve Dewey on drums, who I love. He's a great guy. So we met up after, and Mike and I have been friends for 25 plus years. All of our original bands were playing together. And I ran into him at Rock and Roll Ribs, which is fitting. And I said, what the shit? He says, I have this idea. I want to do one show of all of our favorite bands. Judas Priest, Maiden, Dio. This was back then. So we started doing it, and we would do like 4 a year. And then every band that we've loved, Ozzy, Whitesnake, Scorpions. We've done Overkill. We've done Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax, Megadeth, all the band. Rat. We did Motley. We kind of all over, we get to live out, hey, I love this band. Let's do it. And those guys I have now given, to Nicko to do the Titanium Tart show, which is awesome because they kill it playing Iron Maiden. So there you go.
Oh, so fill us in on that then.
yeah.
So Nicko needed a band.
Wait. Who? Who are we talking about here?
Nicko McBrain. He is the best looking member of Iron Maiden. So there you go. He'll tell you that. He tells everybody that. I don't know if anybody believes him or not, but he still tells everybody that. Yeah,
That's
every chance he
hilarious.
gets. So he and I have been friends for years, and he comes to shows. It's like, oh, your singer's great or your guitar player's great. So he has just kind of acquired my band. His partner in Rock and Roll Ribs, Mitch Tan, he's the other guitar player, and they play Iron Maiden songs at Piper's or at Captain Hiram's or all these cool local places that we all play. You can go see Nicko and the guys in Maiden Metal crank out, Iron Maiden songs.
I got to go see that show.
You should. It's pretty awesome.
So we saw. I haven't seen Titanium Tart yet, but I did go down to Piper's and saw Jim play, and it was Wasp.
Yeah.
Was this
Maiden Metal. Yeah, we
Right.
did a Wasp tribute.
Yep. That place was fucking packed. Yeah. So Metal Luster's open, right?
Yeah.
And then you had to do a costume change and
Which we normally don't do a double header, but
yeah.
we actually had the date. Metal Lush just had the date, and then it filled up. So Mike wanted to do it, and I'm like, let's just do a double bill. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So currently, so you've been doing also now just more recently a Cinderella.
Yeah, we did a Cinderella tribute few last month, and then we're hanging on because we have a few more. We have it booked. We're playing up in Mount Dora the first weekend of May, and then we just booked another one. I don't think it's announced yet, but fuck it, I don't care. At OCC in Clearwater, which is an amazing.
That's a great venue.
Amazing venue.
Yeah.
I mean, Vic has that shit down.
Yeah, Vic rocks.
And he's been kind enough to allow us to play. We're going to be playing with Into the Fire, which is a Dokken tribute out of Orlando, I think. Singer lives down by us. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, guys, but they're Into the Fire. They're a Dokken band. We're doing a double bill at OCC in August.
And which band is doing the double bill with Enter the Fire?
We're going to do Cinderella tribute.
Okay.
We're going to open for...
What's the name of that one?
It's just Made of Metal.
Oh,
We're
it's
doing
Made of Metal
tribute.
doing
Yeah.
Cinderella.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the Dokken band's Into the Fire. And I want to say it's August 2nd, but it's in August.
Well, if you need any local openers, part of the guest on there. Well, no, they weren't guests, but they were on the show. Was Red Calling? They're over in Tampa.
Oh,
They're a
nice.
metal band.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, all right,
so
cool.
they were supposed to play the festival. There was something, something
Nice,
that had come
all right.
up, but but
I'll tell Vic.
yeah.
He's
so-
the boss.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that keeps us busy. And then, there's others. There's going to be some more Titanium shows at the end of July. So I'm not sure. And then maybe some Joey shows in August. I'm not sure if that's confirmed yet, but we've been told to just kind of keep our schedules open. So.
All right, so hold on. I know your first name dropping here, right? Joey, Joey who? Joey
So we-
Chestnut, Joey from
Yes.
Friends. What? Joey who? Come on, Jim.
So we're doing a.
He's trying to go by one name now.
I know. I'm trying to
Share.
Yeah, let's share. Yeah.
Joey.
So we did a Dio tribute last summer with Joey Belladonna from Anthrax. So we did a little Florida mini tour, which is super amazingly fun. Get to pay tribute to your favorite singers with one of your
I
favorite
remember
singers.
seeing the
which is
promo
super
for those
fun, yeah.
shows.
Yeah. Oh, I should back up. So we accosted him at Rock and Roll Ribs, and we held him down in a headlock and forced him to listen to us playing Dio. And then we went on stage with me and Bob and Joey to do. So my plan was to get, because at Rock and Roll Ribs every year, there's a big anniversary party, if anybody does not know that. And we all set up a big stage and play, in the parking lot and have a blast. So the band Nicko was in right before Iron Maiden was a band called Trust, and Anthrax took a Trust song, Antisocial, and kind of made it their own, and it turned out to be a hit for them. So I told Nicko, I was like, you need to do Antisocial with Joey. He's like, no, mate, fuck it, you're going to play it. I'm like, all right, cool. So we get on stage at the end of the night, Bobby and me and Joey and Mike Rivera and Rob Stokes from Made of Metal and Titanium, and we got to blast through Antisocial. I almost forgot about it. Somebody posted a video of it the other day, and I was like, that fucking sounds good.
Kinda good.
I mean, the drums, I don't know about the other guys. But the drums were fucking
I know,
on.
yeah.
And I got to play on Nicko's huge tour kit. I mean, that was like another
Oh, that's got to be a
drummer boner right there. It's like,
Yeah.
how many guys get to say, I played on Nicko's his kit that just came off tour with Iron Maiden. There's me. So, yeah.
Nice.
That was pretty fun.
Is that a little bit of daunting?
Fuck no, man. That's like my 7th grade self would be like, dude, you're dead and you're in drummer heaven right now. You better enjoy this.
So when you go
And I'm
back,
like, all the way down.
yeah. So when you Marty McFly and go back and tell your 7-year-old self, someday you're going to be playing on this guy's drum. Well, a previous guest was Kevin Frege, right, from Angels of War.
We geeked over that. Too,
yeah, you're like, am I really here, right behind this drum kit?
That was the whole thing too. I don't know. Like that particular tour ended in Tampa. And I said to him at the show, are you having your drums shipped home? Because it was the last night of the tour. If they have another leg, the drums go wherever the gear goes. But that was the end of the leg. It was 2021, I think. Legacy of the Beast. I don't know. So we had the drum shipped home. And then in October of, I guess it was 21. So go to his house. We're setting up the drums and we're kind of chit-chatting. He's like, what drum kit should we bring to Rock and Roll Ribs this year? I'm like, we need to bring this. He's like, no, we're not doing that. I'm like, so I literally had to hound him and harass him for 2 months to be like, we're taking this drum set. You don't have to set it up. I'll do the whole thing. And he finally relented, and we all got to play on it, and everybody loved it. And Kevin, he was just almost as nerded out as I am over it. So it was super fun.
And his drum kit is set in such a way because he's right. Nicko's a tall guy, right? It's just the reaches and
Well, he's got 11 piece drum kit, 10 toms that go all the way around him, and then the cymbals have to go over that. So yes.
Right. So that's what Kevin talked about. Is you don't have a whole lot of space to hit that.
But it's fun. It's fun to play. It's fun to set it up. The whole thing. So I had it's like getting to play Eddie Van Halen's guitar, or if Steve Harris is like, here, play my bass. It's So
that's epic, man.
That's pretty fun.
Oh.
I totally take credit for that.
Behind the set,
I got tons, and I think I told him we were sitting at that last rehearsal, and he was still like, no. I'm like, yo. When you take your dick out, are you going to take a piece of it out, or are you going to take it all out? And he laughed, and everybody else laughed, and we brought the whole drum kit. So everybody's welcome who got to see that big, huge drum kit. It's because of me.
That was what sold it, huh?
But he said to me, "You're getting cases. You're going to take care of it." And I was like, "Yeah, I got it." So, and it is super fun that he lets us do that because that's
that's pretty cool.
That's
dude, right? Yeah. It goes back to am I really here? So so very cool. So we got a couple segments here on the show here called Tales from the Road. So do you guys got any good road stories here? So we've had some interesting ones. We've had people be part of gigs that burn buildings down. It wasn't Great White. Too soon. We've had people fall off stages and all sorts of things. So who wants to take a crack at a Tales from the Road story?
Let me go first. Okay. I'll give you a good one from our friend who was just on your show. Yeah, Patrick? Patrick Johansson?
Oh, you got a good one for Patrick?
Yeah.
All right, perfect.
So Patrick. I got a lot of good ones from Patrick. Listen, Patrick, I love Patrick. He's one of my most bestest friends. He's the second we met, we're super fast friends. So my folks moved to North Carolina. I don't remember what year it was. He's on tour, and he happens to be in Charlotte with the guitar player. I forget how to pronounce his name. That guy. So we go to the gig. He sound checks, and he's notorious for long sound checks.
No, you don't know Patrick just yet?
I knew Patrick.
Oh, no, okay, at this time. Okay.
Yeah. He said, shit, fuck, man, Jim, I'm in Charlotte. You come see the show. So I go to the show. My brother of steel. So I go to the show, go to sound check, and you always get the looks from the boss. He's like, who is this? Patrick's like, shut up, you know who he is. So we do a quick sound check, and Patrick and I fuck off. We just go, hang out. We haven't seen each other in a few months. So, and we're driving back to the gig, and his KISS radar goes off. Shit, fuck, Jim, pull in there. So we pull into some record store, right? And they have a ton of KISS shit. So he's like, you can't get him to leave anywhere on time. He's the last person to leave anywhere.
We've heard a little bit of a story that he shared.
So he finds this Gene Simmons incense, big ceramic incense burner thingy, right? And he says, yes, but I'm not bringing this on the bus. You're flying home to Palm Beach. You bring it with you. I was like, okay. So we go back and the next morning, I'm flying back, and my parents moved, so I drove their car. I don't have much luggage. I have a backpack with this fucking Gene Simmons incense burner in it. And I'm going through security, and they did not. They were like, what is this? And they're crowding, and they're like, sir, you need to come with us. And I'm like, are you I'm sorry. They pull me aside, right? They literally pull me aside. Now, like, the mothers are like clutching their children behind them because they're like pulling me aside. They're all like, what is this? Can you explain this? And this big bald-headed tattoo guy come walking up. He goes, he's in a band. Let this guy go through. It's Gene Simmons from Kiss. So we go home, and I'll never let Patrick forget when he almost had me detained at the Charlotte airport for Gene Simmons' incense burner holder.
So I'm imagining what this looks like is basically like Gene Simmons' tongue.
Yes. Okay. It's like ginormous.
Yeah,
it's like I should have got a fucking picture of it, but I'll
We'll insert right here.
yeah.
Post.
I'll get a picture of it.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
So that's Patrick. That's a Patrick story for you.
Yeah, how many ceramic tongues do you find in the luggage?
Hopefully not too many.
Ceramic Tongue, that's a band name right there.
Yeah, ceramic
There you
tongue.
go.
There you go.
That's the next
That's
project.
the next project.
It's
So,
hard.
oh,
How about you, Bob?
I mean, funny stories. Most of the fun that we ever had was our roadies. They were just always out of control. I always said we were the only band that would come back from a tour where the roadies owed us money because they would break everything. I mean, they would just drink, and second floor in a hotel in Germany. End of the hallway, there's a big window and a flower pot. Oh, this is going out. Poof, out the window. Rip apart toilet bowls and coat hangers to make air guitars. One time I'm talking about one person specifically. I'm not going to say his name, but we told him,
You know who you are.
slow down when he's drinking vodka. He stands up, goes to get out of the bar. The doors are still closed. He walks right into the glass. Then we had to help him up to his room. Of course, we got like Sharpies and drew all over him. We stuck his key in his butt crack, got him inside, and then just proceeded to take everything from inside the hotel room and pile it on top of him in bed. He was on the bed, and everything in the room was just on top of him. But man, he had a blast. We did too, like just watching him. Or he'd go to the red light district, and it's usually a street with partitions on each side, so kids can't look down. He'd go in one door at the top of the street. They're waiting. Where the hell is he? He comes out the other end. He went through all of them. I was like, oh my God. He was so much fun. But yeah, they were always the stories. Just the stuff that he would do. Or Halloween, we went on tour with. They have these wax paper bags on the toilets for the women's pads, but we realized that they hold water really well. So while Halloween's trying to get on their bus, it's just bam, 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 all these water-filled tampon holders hitting the street in Germany. What are you doing? They're like screaming, trying to run onto the bus. It's like, yeah, stupid Americans. What? Just dumb 20-year-old, early 20-year-old shit, whatever we could do. Yeah, just stupid, getting drunk, breaking shit.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Don't get any ideas now when you go on tour.
I'm going to next time I'm in Germany. I'm going to get up all of the douchebags and fill them with water and throw them at people.
Well, speaking of, don't get any ideas, so you are getting ready to tour and go to the UK, right?
Yep, I'm going to do a 1
So
month
you
tour.
can ask him.
of the
He's
UK.
If
probably
they still have those.
You've been to the UK?
Yeah.
What do I need to know about being in the UK? 'Cause I've never been there.
Well, the last time I was there, they had no air conditioning at the hotel.
Or ice.
And it's...
Yeah.
Prepare yourself for that.
what are you gonna do with your whiskey and no
I'm
ice?
going to
man?
have to drink it in the raw, I guess. Neat.
It's gotten a lot better since the 80s, though. I mean, you could see the difference from... there was like one McDonald's in the entire Germany the whole time we were there. And now it's like, they have everything American, KFC. And
Yeah, because you'd have been there before the wall. Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think we were the first thrash band to play on the other side of the wall.
Oh, wow.
I don't consider Metallica thrash, but they were just there like a month or so before us. And we
So you're saying your guitar tore down the Berlin Wall?
Yeah, I gave it
riffs.
to Reagan. Yeah.
It blasted it over from behind.
That was weird. You'd have to go on the bus. They check your face to your passport. You all have to sit in your seat, have your passport. They looked underneath, make sure we weren't taking anybody out. We played Katowice, Poland, and I was just talking to. I work with the guitar player Mike, and I was just talking to him about that because we the money's worth nothing there. So we're like, oh, well, we got to spend it here. Otherwise, it's nothing anywhere else. It's like 3,000 rubles. So we all ran to a train station with the photographer to go buy trinkets and stuff. And she was on the tour. She was taking pictures of us. So we were in a train station, and two soldiers come over to us, and they put us in a holding cell because they saw us taking pictures. That's, I guess, considered a government building. And luckily, she was able to speak to them. And I'm freaking out because none of us brought our passports. We just jumped in the cabs from being outside the hotel.
Right.
So I think it was kind of a shakedown, and they just wanted money from us. So they took whatever we had money left. We had given it to them to let us out. But here I am, like 21 years old, and I'm in like a holding cell in like a jail. I mean, they shut the bars and then shut the door. And it was like me, my bass player, 2 guys from Halloween, and the photographer. So she was able to talk us out of that, and we got out of there. And man, I got that fanny pack, and that passport never left my side. I brought that everywhere. That was pretty scary. And I wound up buying a chess set, a wooden hand carved chess set. I still have it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, because the money was it was worthless anywhere else, so we had to get rid of it.
Wow.
So hopefully you don't have to go through that in the UK.
No.
Yeah, there's not too many communist blocks in the UK.
So your UK show, yeah. So real quick, let's talk about that. So,
Well, there's actually being more. I've got 9 shows scheduled, and there's actually more being scheduled as we speak. I hadn't been on WhatsApp all week, and Katie actually lined up a couple more shows while we weren't looking, so that's cool. But what I'm doing is, as you already know, I'm doing a solo acoustic tour of the UK, and I'm doing a single show in London with a band, and it's to promote my live album. It's About Time, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Just London?
No, we're playing in, let's see, the first show we're doing in Colville at a biker pub called the Victoria. And then we're playing at the Queen's Head Pub in Box. And I'm really excited about getting to play in Box because I like that.
Yeah,
The sound of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we all want to be in the box.
Let me look. I've got to read my tour poster to see what I'm doing here. I'm playing in Bristol. I'm playing in From. The London show is going to be at the someplace in London.
The O2?
No, it's the I don't know. It's a place. And then I'm playing in Bradford on Avon. I'm playing in Hampton, and then I'm in Penzance. I'm playing the Acorn Theater, and then in Exeter, I'm playing the Phoenix Theater.
That's pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's really cool. I got a tour poster and everything.
You're legit now.
Yeah. So hopefully,
The only thing that would make you more legit,
to be able to sing.
a drummer.
Oh, a drummer.
I'm saying,
Is some,
Well, I have one. I have to leave them at home because you all charge money and stuff.
drummers got to eat.
that is a pretty big duffel bag you have to fit Jim in.
Yeah. You can't really check a drum set in the above head compartment.
You can bring me to England. I speak the language.
So do you?
So
Are you going to show up in there and
pretty good.
it was shirt? It's like straight out of PSL.
Yeah, I'm just going to be like, F you, I'm American. That's what
Oh, that'll be
shirt says.
They'll love
me.
that.
They'll love me. Yeah, it's going to go over well.
So too funny. So guys, all right. So we're having a great time here. We're running out of time here. Can you guys come back next week and keep this going here? So we've got so much more to talk about. Obviously, music. But yeah. So before we go though, do you guys anything to you want to plug, promote, anything like that? So
Yeah, what you got going on? End of April, all of May.
You mentioned the GoFundMe.
So our guitar player in Metallica, Scott Opelia, was in a really wicked bad car accident, motorcycle accident. Car pulled out in front of him, and he's suffering a traumatic brain injury at the moment. We have a GoFundMe page. If you check out, look me up, Jim McCourt or Metallica. You can donate. Any bit helps. He's recently back in the hospital again, but he's out. We just did a benefit show for him, raised a couple bucks, but it's never enough. So if you could go on there and throw $20 at it, it would be super helpful, and we all really appreciate it. And if you've already donated, thank you. And if you played already this past weekend at Piper's, then thank you again. And yeah.
So Jim's going to send us a link. We'll put it right here on the video, so you can just go ahead and click and donate. Motorcycle accidents. Musical brothers definitely deserve support.
Yeah. All right. Anything, Bob?
Yeah, we can talk about Pain Ward next week.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. All right. So
rock on. So,
yes.
What great guests we've got here. How did we rate to get such awesome people?
I know.
This is
we
cool.
paid a lot of money.
Yeah,
the checks in the
worth
mail.
every penny for sure. So, hey, I am the Kevin McLoughlin, and this is
Paul Robertson.
This is the Riffs and
Rhythms podcast.
Thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe, tell all your friends about it, and listen to us next week when we bring these guys back for a whole lot more coolness. We'll see you then. Oh, we're supposed to toast at the end. What the hell?
Yeah.
We're out. We're out.
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. We'll real quick.
This is the level of professionalism we've got going
Bonus
on.
ending.
Yeah, this is the bonus in it.
Yes, this is the secret MCU ending after the credits.
I had to go through that last episode, but yeah.
All right, so
take two.
Take two. Here's to you, Paul, and to our awesome guests.